Hello everybody, how is it going today? It's now August the 14th. It's a beautiful Tuesday right now outside actually, and I'm going to be live streaming from Starbucks. You know what the coolest part about this job, guys? Is that you can actually take it anywhere that you want, right? It's going to be very rare for you guys to see me in Winnipeg after, I'm guessing, September or so, because every year for my birthday I do something very extravagant. So this year I'm either going to Vancouver, finally, or I'm going to go to Paris because I've got a bunch of free flights out there, right? So I'm really looking forward to actually traveling. Last year I was actually supposed to head out there, but it just never happened. So anyways, I hope that you guys have been extremely cautious thus far. And before I start every single technical analysis video, I really do want to thank you guys for getting me to well over 100,000 followers on Twitter. And I think I'm about 80,000 on YouTube. So make sure you guys are also liking, sharing, and just follow me on both YouTube and on Twitter as well, where I'd really appreciate that. The goal this year is to get to 200,000 followers on Twitter, and I really want to overtake some of the bigger players out there in the market right now. I shouldn't say names because it'll make me sound very competitive, but let's do this. So, what position am I in right now? Okay, I'm not going to be tweeting a lot of my positions anymore for my own safety. As you guys know, the majority of the market tends to play against me when I do tweet my positions, especially with the small cap coins such as Metaverse, if you guys remember, where I ran into a lot of trouble out there. So, what am I following today and what position am I in? I'm going to be following Bitcoin. I'm going to be following EOS. I'm going to be following Bitcoin long, Bitcoin short, EOS long, and also EOS short. And I'm also going to give you guys a very good idea of how to actually read these charts, which is very significant. And I'd like to also explain why I'm going to be following these specific USD short and long tables as well. So what we can see, oh yeah, I forgot to say that I'm in a $30,000 EOS long position. I've got about $250,000 on reserve right now to enter a Bitcoin or EOS position if it does break below my specific support ranges. And if it does break below my support ranges, I'll be entering a short position, just to be very clear, okay? It's not going to be a long position. I refuse to catch a falling knife. And the advice that I've always given to people is as simple as this, okay? If you are new to a bearish market, the last thing that you want to do is try to catch a falling knife, and especially not margin, okay? You guys saw all my videos that I've been talking about in my margin or for margin trading and all the risks associated with it as well. Remember that you need to retain 15% equity in your margin account, right? But the majority of people actually play their entire margin balance. And because they play their entire margin balance, there's literally no equity left in case something like a flash crash happens. And I've seen flash crashes before, guys. I've never been affected by a flash crash in terms of getting liquidated because I understand the consequences. And what I like to do during flash crashes instead is actually catch the bounce. The only flash crash that I've ever caught was actually the metaverse one way back in I'll show you guys the metaverse flash crash, okay? It's gonna blow your mind to see how quickly this fell. And if you guys actually followed my advice for metaverse for the past few 12 hours or so, okay, I've suggested that right here is more like a double top. And also we were losing strength in a major way. And what we could see Metaverse do is it fell down 22% already. So if you were in a $100,000 position, you literally just made a typical person's yearly salary here in Canada, which is $30,000 Canadian, right? Which is kind of absurd when you think of it that way, if you actually caught the bounce. So here's the flash crash that I'm referring to that I actually caught. So take a look at this and make sure that the risk is actually drilled into your head. This is a flash crash where it literally dropped 97% from a high of $3.88 all the way down to literally 5 cents, guys, 5 cents. So when this happened, I actually bought it around the $1 range and I closed it like $1.20. So I missed out on a lot of money, but it's okay. Last month, because I was busy moving, and last month I only took 19 trades. That is it. But I still finished off at an easy $11,000 profit, which to me was the one of the lowest months that I've ever had, right? So a typical month when I'm actually trying, especially in a bear market, is anywhere between $50 to $70,000 a profit from trading alone, and I need to really let you guys know that these profits, guys, it is from losing a lot of money in the beginning. And the last thing that you want to do, once again, is try to participate in this bearish market. Because if you do, there's a very strong probability that you will get liquidated. And the last thing I want to do is see my baby whales get liquidated. Margin trading it's a major risk, okay? And I know why people margin trade. It's usually out of greed. You're leveraging money that you don't have because you think it's free money. But in the end, you guys have to understand that flash crashes will destroy you, especially if you're an amateur trader or you're not nearly as experienced in the market and you don't have the mental discipline to stick to your stop loss, right? Sticking to your stop loss is the number one way to ensure that you can preserve your money, you can protect your money, and you can also grow your money at the same time. So Metaverse, I mentioned in my previous technical analysis video that it was primed to short. Did I actually take my own advice? No, I completely forgot about it instead. Instead, I went wine shopping. So so let's take a look at the correlation first of all between altcoins and also EOS. But let's also go to coin market cap just to see how this is working out. The Bitcoin dominance is about 52% right now, which is a very significant amount. Think about it, guys. Bitcoin's dominance in the market of all cryptocurrencies, right, is 52%. That's a large percentage. We're seeing coins like the what is it, smart contract type coins like Ethereum, like EOS, like Neo. They're just taking a major hit. In fact, a lot of coins are taking double digit red hits in a single day. So because they're taking double-digit red hits in a single day, there's also a very high probability based on RSI and price action as well that we may see some sort of small bounce. So I'm going to try to do an Elliott wave technical analysis, price action, moving average strategies, and also RSI analysis today as well. And I don't have my I should start bringing my two-factor authentication phone with me, but the reason I don't bring it is because I'm scared of like losing it or getting jumped or something like that. So it's always at home in like in a very safe place, right? But I should probably start bringing it with me so I can show you guys the level 2 price action in real time as well, right? So we take a look at the 24-hour volume for Bitcoin, guys. The 24-hour volume is deplorable. We're talking about $5 billion. Overall market capitalization of all cryptocurrencies is $191 billion. Do you guys remember when we got up to the high? What did we get up to last year? I can't remember back in December. Let's take a look at this, okay? Because I'm very curious. Almost $800 billion. So we have dropped off the face of the planet with basically a 75% drop in the course of only 8 months. I'm really sorry to break it to you guys, but to myself, and I think the majority of professionals out there as well will firmly agree with me when I say that there will not be a bull market this particular year. Although, if this leveling off does occur anywhere between where I think it will level off, between $4,800 and $5,500 throughout all of next year, with a period for Dow accumulation theory within about maybe 6 months to a year of pure accumulation. And we also have to remember that Bitcoin is a finite resource. And because it's a finite resource, there's not an unlimited amount of it, right? So what we want to do, because it's scarce material, just like gold, since it's a scarce material, just like gold, we have to understand that we all want your Bitcoin and we will be fighting for it, right? There's not an unlimited amount. A lot of Bitcoin will actually be lost over time. We have to understand that, right? People are going to lose their private keys. People are going to lose access to their accounts. They're going to send it to the wrong place. Bitcoin will surely be lost. And because of that, you can, without certainty, imagine how much of a demand there could be in the future and how that will affect price as well. This is basic economics 101 of supply and demand. So there's without certainty that in the very long run, I believe that Bitcoin does have a technology that could usurp a traditional monetary system, like I always say. And we also have to understand how it came out of the ashes as well during the 2008 world economic crisis, right? Whoever invented it, genius, pure genius, right? And it's to empower people like you and I. It's to ensure that there's not an alterable ledger, unlike the government that can print an unlimited supply of money anytime. I really hope that you guys are bullish with Bitcoin in the long run. And you guys have seen me in this space for about 3 years and on Twitter for only 8 months, right? But you can imagine how much of an impact it has had on some people's lives, right? And you guys all know my story. That's how I got to 100,000 followers like that, right? It's because I'm honest and transparent, or try to be as best as I can. But most importantly, it's a success story that I enjoy sharing with people, and I want you guys to be a part of it as well. And I really genuinely hope that you guys are bullish in the long run, because if you're not, quite honestly, you guys should get the fuck out of this crypto space, okay? Because it's not a space for you guys out there. But if you are bullish in the long run, you guys know how much Bitcoin I'm holding. I'm holding well over 100 at the moment. 97 at the moment, and I'll be getting it to about 150 Bitcoin by the end of this year by dollar cost averaging every 2 weeks. So because I will be dollar cost averaging every 2 weeks, I can just imagine 4 or 5 years from now if Bitcoin does get to something like $250,000. My net worth. First of all, you guys need to understand that this channel, this Twitter account, okay, where almost 200,000 people follow me. We talk about money. So you guys have to be very comfortable when I talk about money openly because one, it shows transparency. Two, it's proof in the pudding through my live trades that I show you guys as well, right? And three, it's money. Once again, right? This channel is designed to talk about money very openly and also profits as well. I think that it's the only profession in the world where you can travel anywhere and work. So sometimes I wonder why the fuck I'm here in Winnipeg a lot and why I'm not traveling a lot as well. So let's talk about this, guys. Um, yeah, so market cap was about $800 billion. Let's look at the 24-hour volume, which can give us a really good indication of if people are starting to get generally interested in Bitcoin or not. All right. So let's take a look at the historical data. Okay, right here. So let's look at the historical data, and what we see is that we have been trending anywhere between $3 billion to $5 billion for the past few weeks, actually. Okay, we got to $7 billion on July 24th. Let's go see what happened to Bitcoin on July 24th. Okay, July 24 was right here. Okay, this was a massive push up. But do you guys know what this massive push up? This massive push up is actually a bull trap. Okay, so because it's a bull trap, you would naturally want to drive up the market to fill up these short positions of yours. And like I've always talked about, it is a way to catalyze the dump process. And because we want to catalyze the dump process, right, people will leverage with these exchange account they'll put up these exchange account walls, right, to drive up the price. But in turn, you guys are actually buying into a margin position that is filling up a leverage position to short. And then once the liquidity dries up, because poof, they vanish all of their bids that they're stacking up for you to buy, there's actually no liquidity. So that's how we can catalyze this type of dump process. And that's why the volumes definitely spiked up there on July 24th. And at the same time, we also have to understand that it's not just people filling up their short positions. It's also the bulls that are trying to break through a key resistance that's been established since the interim high of July 20, or actually since February, right? So take a look right here, guys. This is July 24 push. The bulls basically acknowledged it on a log scale. And don't forget, guys, when you are doing a technical analysis, make sure that you're staying on a log scale if it's over a long period of time, okay? And we clearly see that the bulls were trying to break above here, but this tweezer pair combination based on price action was simply a precursor to the market dropping eventually. So here we are, guys, at a very low point at $6,000. I've got, once again, $250,000 set aside to either short it or perhaps catch it around 5,200 to 47. But either way, I will be playing on a short position in my margin because that's the only way you can actually short, right? And I will also be dollar cost averaging in my exchange account that will go directly to my Nano Ledger. And I'm not going to look at it, guys. I'm not going to look at it for a long time. It's going to sit in my bank in a safe in a very, very secure spot. So that is my ultimate goal. So let's do, first of all, what do you guys want to do, huh? Let's do an RSI analysis, okay? So relative strength index is a way for us to gauge the momentum and the strength in a market, right? So what we're looking for is a series of higher lows and higher highs. And for the people that are not familiar with relative strength index, we go from a scale of 0 to 100, where 30 and 70 is kind of a neutral territory, and under 30 would imply that it is oversold, and above 70 would imply it is overbought. And we also add in another theory, such as Constance Brown's theory, where we'll say neutral zones are typically and actually between 40 to 60, right? 40 to 60 or 30 to 60 or 40 to 70, right? But then we consider very, very bullish zones anywhere on a high time frame well above 70. But if you can maintain, for example, 40 to high RSI, then that, according to Constance Brown's RSI rule, that right there would be a very bullish territory, okay? People are looking at me like I'm talking loud right now, and you guys know how I think. I don't give a fuck what people think of me, okay? That's usually how it is. Yeah. It's so weird for me to say that even when I go out in public, guys. Like when Bitcoin changed my life, I really stopped trying to appease people, right? And I just cared more so about making sure that I was genuinely happy and not making sure that I'm trying to make everybody else happy at all the time. I found that when you stop judging other people and when you stop caring about what other people think, you can truly focus on yourself. And that's exactly what Bitcoin does, guys. It allows you to pursue the freedom that you guys want, right? Right after this, guys, I'm gonna go spend $5,000 on a Larrivee guitar at Long and McQuaid, and I'm also gonna buy a Seagull. Excuse me, there, a Seagull. Probably gonna get the Artist Mosaic guitar as well. That's crypto money for you guys. And but what I'm getting to is when you are in a like I'm in a very different spot in my life than where I was 3 years ago, right? You guys know that I used to be a mechanical engineer. Hey, cheers, hey guys. Good morning. I'll try to keep this under 30 minutes for you guys, because I've got a lot of errands to run today. So, anyways, enough about personal philosophy and Bitcoin. Let's get into a technical analysis right now. That is so fucking loud, that RSI alert. Holy shit. So, take a look at here, okay? Are we getting a series of a higher high or a higher low? Not really. Not really at all, guys, okay? What we're getting is, take a look at this right here. Okay, this is a much lower low, and the RSI is actually pretty much on par with where it was earlier for this point right there. That's actually really scary. So is this going to break down the RSI into a descending type of triangle? Because that's a very possible way to analyze RSI. But if we do get a bounce, guys, I kid you not that this will be the very last bounce that we get before we enter a very bearish zone. You take a look at the price action right now. I wish I had the level 2 to show you guys, but I don't. But take a look, guys. We spiked up in the past hour. Look, look, guys. We spiked up in the past hour to 61.84, and we already shot down an easy 3.5%. Okay, you have to understand how altcoins are affected by Bitcoin, right? So think about this. If Bitcoin falls 3.5%, then every altcoin will usually fall by 3.5% multiplied by an actual factor as well, right? So if it's multiplied by a factor, just as an example, if Bitcoin falls 3.5%, we can easily anticipate that some other coins may fall 3.5% times a number. It could be 0.5, it could be, or sorry, times a 1.5, it could be 2.5, it could be 2. But generally, Bitcoin will fall a percentage, and then every other coin will fall a larger percentage than Bitcoin, right? So I just don't want to see you guys, honestly, I don't want to see you guys get liquidated, okay? I see, like, you guys can imagine, of the 100 something thousand followers that I have, how many people tweet to me and also direct message me as well that, hey, I really need your help, Philicon. I really need your help. I'm about to get liquidated, right? What do I do right now? Well, the best advice that I can give to anybody, and make sure you guys remember that I'm no financial advisor in any way whatsoever. So don't you guys dare sue me, okay? I don't want to be sued. I don't ever want to be sued. It was really close one time to the ICO Journal, me suing them. But when you go to your lawyer and you drop $50,000 in cash, then you make a video and show them, that presents a lot of fear, okay? So anyways, the best advice that I can actually give to people is as simple as this. If you've already missed your stop loss, okay? 1, designate a new stop loss. First thing that you should have done is actually stuck to your stop loss to begin with. Hang on a second. You should have stuck to your stop loss to begin with, right? If you don't have a stop loss, I hate to say it, but you guys are nothing but an amateur trader, and you should really be playing a lot less in terms of your principal position sizes. Make sense? Secondly, if you guys are uncomfortable with the swings, right? You guys have seen my swings. I play 100,000. I play 200,000. My 1% swings are $2,000. But I'm comfortable with that. I'll still dance and make videos for you guys. But if you guys are not comfortable with seeing swings that large, then what you need to do is take a step back, stop being fucking greedy, and play less. And that's a firm advice that I'm going to give you guys, okay? Play less if you're not comfortable. And secondly, have a stop loss. You need to know how to protect your money, preserve your money, so you can grow your money as well. You have to understand that investing and also trading, day trading or swing trading, it has a lot to do with managing money, okay? Now, if you don't know how to manage money, then simply you shouldn't be trading, or you should be practicing skills. Guys, go pick up some books, okay? Go pick up this book right here, William O'Neill Stock Market. This is a great book that you guys really need to read, just as a very basic book if you haven't already, okay? Go read this one as well by Benjamin Graham, The Intelligent Investor. Go read How to Make Money in Stocks, A Winning System in Good Times and Bad, okay? It's a great book by William O'Neill. It's one of my favorite books that I've read when I was starting out. Other great books that I can really recommend if you're into Elliot Wave is the Elliot Wave Visualization Guide, right here, okay? This is one of my favorite books because there's a lot of pictures, and vision visualization book. I don't know why that came up. Visual Guide to Elliot Wave. Go pick up that book as well. Phenomenal book. Another book that you should really read is AJ Frost, Elliot Wave. This one right here. Right there. AJ Frost, Robert Precher. It's called Elliot wave principle to market behavior. You have to understand that trading is basically a profession, right? It's a profession. You're not going to just step into the stock market and be very profitable. And you guys have to understand how much money I lost as well when I started, right? In the first year and a half or something. But hey, I'm well over. I don't want to say it in public actually, but you know, you guys know how. I don't know why I was looking around there for a second, but you guys know the kind of profits that I rolled in, and you guys know that I made well over 7 figures last year. Here I am sitting at Starbucks in my fucking sweats and not giving a shit what anyone thinks. And you can do anything you want, anytime you want, which is kind of cool. And I want everybody to have that kind of freedom in crypto as well. But if you don't study, the guy to your left, the guy to your right, he's going to do a lot better than you. And you don't want to be a lazy person in crypto, right? So anyways, to me, guys, we're going to do a simple just trend line first, okay? Just to show you guys before we get into EW here. So would you guys agree with me that this is a very pivotal moment for Bitcoin, and there's a very high probability that we are no doubt, without certainty in my mind, eventually going to get to, I don't know, 5200 region? Maybe we'll get a wick to the 4800 region, but I made a technical analysis months ago in regards to a very bearish scenario, right? And it's a bearish scenario, it's going to come true, guys. I really think that we're going to get to the 5,200 ranges, averaging around there. And that is where I will start to dollar cost average my Bitcoin. And that is where I plan to accumulate and hold for at least a few years. Now, let's get into an Elliott wave technical analysis from the beginning and try to deduce if this is a possibility that we're getting a WXYZ corrective pattern that is now officially finished, right? So if I were to do a WXYZ, is it possible for me to say that this right here is a Y and that this is a Z right there, okay? Is that possible? Now let's break this down even further and count this on many small different time frames because I think it's really important for us to deduce, is this actually possible, right? So actually, if this one was like that, like it could be like that, right? Let's do this right here. So I consider this an impulse wave failure. Let's talk about impulse wave failures first of all, okay guys? Impulse wave failures are something like this. Every Elliott wave, impulse wave up, has a chance to fail. Now, it is not an impulse successfully, it's not a successful impulse wave up unless you have these 5 structures that are broken down into fractals and also 5 subwaves, right? So that's really important for you guys to understand that. Now, for every wave that can fail, it can fail right here, for example, right? It can fail right there. This is wave 2. And an impulse wave is considered a failed wave if it has retraced over 99.999999999 repeating percent, right? Like it can fall above that and it doesn't fail, but the moment that it falls below 100% retracement according to Fibonacci, then that would be an impulse wave failure. So these wave 2s and also wave 4 can fail anytime. So if wave 2 retraces more than 100% of wave 1, that's now an impulse wave failure. If wave 4 retraces more than 100% of wave 2, that's now an impulse wave failure. So within these impulse waves as well, they ebb and they flow. So there's also 5 waves that go up like that, right? So if there's 5 waves that go up like that, then we can also assume, just by deduction as well and by association, that this one is also 5 waves. So if this is the first wave and that's 5 waves right there, then this one right here also makes 5 waves. Make sense? Okay? So then if one of these waves can fail as wave 2, then we can also easily deduce that this right here is a possible wave 2 as well. And this one could retrace up to 99.99% before, and if it falls below that, then that's an impulse wave failure, right? So, but the moment, guys, once again, okay, the moment that this retraces lower than 100% of that specific wave, that is an impulse wave failure. And unfortunately, this point right there, right here, would be considered an X. And an X for Elliott wave denotes a failure in the wave structure, okay? So in the next video that I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to do an ABCDE type of triangle for you guys to see, okay? So this is going to be one of my main counts, which is a WXYZ, okay? But I'm going to have an alternate count as well, where we're going to take a look at A, B, C, and D, okay? So let's do this, guys. So this is basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right, going upwards, and then we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or sorry, this is A, B, and C going down, which completes the W. And then we get an X right here. And the reason why this is an X is simply because this one here is, this one here for A, B, C is actually retracing more than 100% of the territory of this specific wave. So we say to ourselves, all right, if this is actually A, B, C right here, if that is ABC, what we see is, okay, ABC, like this could have been an impulse wave failure, and it's only, sorry, we can only say that it's an impulse wave failure if this actually fails, it failed after, right? So we don't actually know in hindsight what to call it. So according to this, if this was just A right here, okay, and that's B, we cannot call this X until this C position right here, or commonly known as the Y position right there, is retracing more than 100% of this territory. So this one here, we see 6,000, right? Here, we see 5,800 ranges. So clearly that's a failed impulse wave. So now what we say to ourselves is, okay, if this is an X structure, is it possible that we're just going to get one more bounce here, say, I don't know, it could be even now. Who knows where it could be now? It could be something like that, where it goes to something like that, or it could even be something like this, where it goes up like that, and then something like that, right? When we get to the 5,200 range. But I kid you guys not that my magic number is anywhere under $5,500. That is where I will firmly start to dollar cost average and start accumulating Bitcoin to an extreme amount. I want to have at least 150 Bitcoin, okay? 150 Bitcoin will be a phenomenal number. I don't have my spreadsheet here to show you guys, but just some basic math, okay? 150 times 250,000, that's less than 5 years' time. I'm down to have $37 million. Are you guys? If you guys set some money aside today, whatever it is, keep in mind that you need to be bullish on Bitcoin. Even if you guys bought one Bitcoin at $6,000 and we dropped to $2,000, who gives a fuck? When you think about it from the perspective of 5 years from now, okay? Because 5 years from now, when Bitcoin will have a massive dominance and all these altcoins are basically just shitting out of the market because, well, it's going to be much more regulated as well, and which is really good. You guys have to understand that regulation is a really good thing in the crypto market, right? And because regulation is coming, it's going to protect you as well, and it's going to have rules that will allow us to exercise more safety. So if you guys bought a Bitcoin at $6,000 and it went to literally 250K, which I'm sure it will in a few years, you guys are going to have like $1 million, 1.5, oh, sorry, 6 bit. Did you guys just see the math that I did there? It was a really bad moment. Okay, 250K minus 6,000. Okay, well you're gonna have $244,000, which I think is a pretty phenomenal number, right? And like who cares? Honestly, if you guys are bullish long term and you're an investor, make up your mind and stop panicking. What my friends do is they actually look at the market only once a month and they're just holding for an incredibly long time, right? Who cares if it's going to get to like 2K or 3K or 4K or 5K? But if you do care enough, it's up to you guys to manage your positions, and how you do it is really up to you as well, right? Are you going to shed off some of your risk? Are you going to shed some of your positions, right? So you can accumulate at a lower price? You guys really have to do the math behind it, right? So if let's just hypothetically say you shed off some of your positions, right? Because you're hoping to buy it at a cheaper price. But now you need to figure out at what price would you need to buy it at for it to be worthwhile your time. So there's a lot of factors to consider when you're doing an analysis for a price, right? So now hold on, I'm just taking a look at EOS right here as well. Guys, I've never seen a coin this oversold before. We're talking EOS right now with a count of about $19, with an RSI of 19. That is how ridiculously oversold it is. So I'm just waiting, guys. I'm genuinely just waiting to buy EOS. I will definitely enter, like I'm almost gonna break even, to be quite honest. You guys know that I'm in a fairly small position right now for EOS, but I'm about to break even simply because I don't want to manage the stress and I don't want to have to worry about this position of mine in particular, right? So if we were to do something extreme like wick to wick, we clearly see it broken already, like something like that, right? So if we do end up going up, we have to remember that every resistance turns into a support, and every support turns into a resistance, right? So it would be very natural to assume that it could possibly get up to $6 again, especially with the RSI trending this low, right? So let's just say we didn't do this type of technical analysis with this trend line here on EOS. Let's just say we went to a different time frame. Well, take a look right here, okay? Take a look right there. So is that possible that we're going to get a bounce right here? Yeah, maybe. So we're seeing a series of higher low and also a higher high. Just give me one more higher high and I will be going very long on this position, okay? So if this was a possible fifth wave formation here as well, is it possible, guys, is it absolutely possible that this is making an ending fifth wave diagonal where this is 1, 2, that's 3, and that's, or sorry, 3, 4, and this is basically the fifth one right here. Let me explain to you guys the mechanics of an ending fifth wave diagonal, okay? It's really important that you guys understand this simply because I think that I think that it's a very popular strategy. So let me show you guys it right here, okay? So so this is 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4, and 5. Just something like that, right? Take a look. And usually in these specific cases, what we see is we see wave 1 as the absolute longest wave, longer than wave 3. But we also have to remember, according to Elliot wave, and either falling wedges, or they're known as a falling bearish wedge, and the opposite would be a rising bullish wedge, right? And these happen where wave 1 is often the longest, and wave 3 is not the longest, but wave 3 is usually longer than wave 5. And that also satisfies the Elliott wave rule as well, where wave 3 is just can't be the shortest, basically. That's what they say, right? So wave 3 could be longer than wave 1, but shorter than wave 5. Or wave 3 can be longer than wave 5, but shorter than wave 1, right? So it's generally how it is. So if this is an actual falling wedge right here, we're going to get some massive gains today. That's why I'm really paying attention to EOS, guys. Honestly, like, I don't know if I should start, like, closing my position or actually accumulate more. So I'm kind of like on the fence right now about what to do. But yeah, I've got a lot set aside, and it's only going to be played from my exchange balance, right? And don't worry, guys, I'm going to start posting a lot more live trades. It's actually been only 4 days since I've like posted a live trade, and people are like, whoa, what's going on? Is he not trading anymore? But it's also for my safety that you have to remember as well, right? So EOS has got a really good chance of just skyrocketing very soon. Like what we're seeing right here, guys, is the bulls are like, let's go back to Bitcoin, okay? You guys have to understand that this resistance has actually been broken already, right? Or this support, okay? You guys have to take a look at this right here, the low of Bitcoin, which was 6,079, right? Here, the bears attempted to break it, bam! We could not break it. So now we draw this simple trend line right here, and what we say is, all right, we successfully closed below it. So is this, what kind of candle is this, guys? Is this an inverted hammer where the bulls are coming in and making a long wick up, right? Think of it like that. That could be a hammer, right, on the bottom there. Or is it a candle that's showing a rejection to the upside, right? Because we did try to break above 61.75, but it was a shatter. So the way that I'm seeing this, honestly, guys, is I'm seeing it the latter, which is actually a rejection to the upside. So once this support right there was broken, it like once the floor is broken as a support, guys, it now becomes a resistance. So think of it as a roof. And whenever we get a long wick that shoots upwards like that, what we see is that it's getting rejected, right? So the bulls attempted to push it above this specific wick right there, but the bears simply just shot them down. And that is a very scary thing in my personal opinion. So, and we also, what happened here? Okay, so there we go. So guys, I think that we might get a rally. Might. Don't get me wrong, but I don't give a crap about if we get a rally up or not, because I don't think we're gonna end up getting to any particular prices that high. If I do a Fibonacci retracement right here, from the top to right here, I keep saying, guys, that we're not going to get higher than a 236 retracement or even a 382 at the absolute most, right? So think of it like this. We could get to 64.82, maybe 68.70, and then we simply just get a bounce coming down. Or we can simply get a test up to the golden ratio where people will stock up on their short positions even more. So think of it like this as well, guys. If we have had many resistances that have been not broken, wouldn't it be in the best interest to make as much money as you can to short from the golden ratio or the 618? Yeah, it would, right? So I'm incredibly bearish right now, guys, for a reason, right? I don't care about going long at all. It means absolutely nothing to me going long right now. I care about going short on Bitcoin and assuming that people might hedge into EOS. If they hedge into EOS, that would be phenomenal because then I can go long on it even further, right? So let's take a look at the Bitcoin shorts versus Bitcoin longs right now. What we see for the Bitcoin long right here, hold on. Bitcoin long, short, long, short. Okay, so this is Bitcoin long right here. What we see for the day is that the longs got wrecked, guys, okay? they got wrecked and they got bull trapped. 15% drop in longs right now for Bitcoin on Bitfinex alone, which is a very significant amount. And also in the past, how long here? Wow, that's only been a 24-hour period, guys. That's really scary. So the Bitcoin longs is only at 25,000 Bitcoin long positions right now. That's it, guys, 25,000. But if you look at the Bitcoin shorts right now, guys, they're ramping up right now. There are over 33,000 short positions up right now, which means that there's actually more short positions than there are long positions. You guys should be scared of going long right now. You should be terrified. That's very difficult for me to assume that we're going to end up going upwards, guys. Despite how oversold it is on RSI, not the best way to do a technical analysis, in my opinion, for shorts versus longs. So now let's look at EOS as well for longs versus shorts, okay? So what we see for longs versus shorts on Bitcoin, or sorry, EOS, is that we're at about 1.2, hold on, we're about 12.7 million, right? And it does look like it's going up on a 20-minute chart, but more accurately, let's go look at it on a daily chart. Daily chart is kind of just not really doing anything right now. It's not really going up, guys, okay? I need to be very clear about that. And now if we take a look at the long table, right, or sorry, the short table right here, over an 8-hour time frame, just as an example, let's go lower. Let's go to 4-hour. Like, look how little the longs are going up right now. But the point is, the shorts are extremely high right now. And what I think might happen is that we could see a possible hedge into EOS. And if we do see a possible hedge into EOS, then these shorts will get destroyed and actually liquidated, right? Because we are only seeing 6.2 million EOS short positions versus 12.7 EOS long positions. And if the bulls wanted to hedge into USD for EOS, or even specifically EOS, right? We could see a massive liquidation of these short positions. And you guys know how we close a short position, right? We close a short position by buying, right? Because we have originally sold, and now we are trying to buy. So if we buy, guys, yeah, just think of how much fuel it's actually going to add to the fire. So guys, I stand by my tactical analysis of us getting to somewhere between 5,200 to 5,500 first, and possibly 4,800. I know it's kind of extreme, but how can I not be bearish overall, guys? We are testing everything at the moment right now. But I kid you not, that if we break above this range, above this trading range right here, okay? I'll be very clear that I might be tempted to go long at the 6,400 region. Simple as that. Because then we'll then get an ABC going up, right? So just think of it like this. If we do get some sort of retracement like that, we break above it, and then that region will now act as a support, right? So this region was a resistance. Now it's going to act as a very hard support. So if it acts as a very hard support, sorry, it was a resistance, now it's a support. So what you would want to do is have a breakout with conviction well above this resistance first, and then we bounce off of that specific support. And that will be a great time to go long on it, in my opinion. So I'm going to be watching very closely. Right now, I'm just going to stay back and just simply chill, keep my quarter billion aside to see what I'm going to do. And that's it, guys. That's it. My throat's so dry, and this coffee kind of sucks. It's a dark roast. Not a fan of it. Anyways, I just want to go to Starbucks, man. It's like a cult here. It's the first time I went to Starbucks, and I purposely said, "Can I get a medium coffee?" And the guy said to me, "It's called a grande." I'm like, "Okay, I'll take a medium." I'm not gonna fall into that fucking Starbucks culture, man. I only came here because it's really close to me, and that's simply it. Okay. Anyways, guys, short term, possibly short-term bias, possibly bullish, actually, like maybe bullish, okay? Medium-term bias, definitely bearish. Long-term bias, as in a few months, bearish as well. Ultra long-term years, incredibly bullish. So it all depends on the time frame that we're looking at. So if you guys are in a position right now and you are getting destroyed, you guys really need to designate a new stop loss. The last thing that you want to do is become a day trader or swing trader that's turning into an investor simply because you didn't manage your stop loss. So I highly urge you guys to reconsider in terms of allocating yourself a new stop loss. And that's it, guys. Eat up your loss. Protect your money. Preserve your money. Just walk away from it. Close your eyes. Click on the X button. And that's simply it. So now I'm going to go buy a Larrivee guitar and a Seagull guitar at Long & McQuaid. And I'll give you guys an update later this evening. So please exercise extreme caution once again, because the last thing that I want to see is a lot of tweets and a lot of direct messages from you guys that's saying that we're going to get completely liquidated. So I'll see you guys later. Thank you very much for joining me, and make sure you guys are liking and subscribing and following me on both YouTube and Twitter. I really need you guys to help me get to 200,000 followers on Twitter. 100,000 was really, really easy, and I truly appreciate all the love and the support that you guys have given me. And let's look forward to getting to 200,000 together, and let's make $1 million again this year and next year as well. See you guys later. Bye, baby whales. Take care now.